Emergency press conference time, soft compound episode, whatever. It's here. Jared, Zach, how you feeling? Pretty good.
Good, baby.
All right. As you know, if you're a Formula One fan, you cannot call yourself a Formula One fan if you don't know what happened today. We all woke up in America, saw Lewis Hamilton has signed a multi-year contract starting in 2025 with none other than Ferrari. Huge news. Zach is not very happy. Not that you're not happy. Maybe you just don't. It doesn't shake you to the core like most people would say.
Yeah.
But listen, we got to run through it, right? We got to just let you know what's up. So like I said, Lewis Hamilton signed a multi-year deal, not one deal, or not 1 year, and he is not a spring chicken. Multi-year deal starting in 2025 with Ferrari. I think the first thing I want to say about this is that Fred Vasseur is the GOAT. I've been saying this for a very long time. Fred Vasseur, he tells it like it is. He got into Ferrari, literally released a press conference or press statement, basically saying, we have to cut out all the bullshit that we've been doing. Literally said bullshit, talking about Ferrari, one of the greatest names in Formula One history, calling them out on their bullshit, saying we have to stop all this. He's awesome. He tells it like it is, and clearly he can get it done when it comes to contracts. He just signed the best driver of all time. One of them, arguably, whatever you want to say. This is definitely one of the biggest driver transfers in Formula One history. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot to talk about, but there isn't. I think a lot of people know, like I said, if you can't call yourself a Formula One fan if you didn't know about this. My girlfriend texted me about it. So there's that.
Fred's making moves, man. He's doing a lot more than Mattia did.
That's true. I think that's what they need too, is someone to really shake it up. He's cutting people, on the engineering side, on the back end. He's making a bunch of moves, and now he just made the biggest move in Formula One history.
Kind of in like American terms, like Mattia Bonito or Bonetto, however you say it.
Bonato. I don't know. I think it's an accent issue for us.
For me, he's like an offensive coordinator that took a head coaching position.
Couldn't agree more.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really good at certain aspects, but really bad at other aspects.
Yeah, exactly.
And just couldn't. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was there a while, but like, just when's the last time Ferrari's been successful, other than when Seb left?
Right, and that's the thing. To be a head coach or a team principal, to run a sports team, you have to be a very specific type of person. You have to know everything about the sport. You have to know how to run a team, obviously. You have to be able to handle all of the personalities that you have. And when it comes to Formula One drivers, I feel like a lot of the times they're clashing heads. They're doing this or that. You remember the famous meme of Binotto waving his finger at Leclerc after something happened, whether he should have won the race or he should have passed Sainz and Sainz didn't let him, whatever it was. You have to be a very specific type of personality to handle everything that comes with running a sports team. Binotto wasn't it. I think Fred Vasseur is it. I think he's it. I think it's very exciting for Ferrari, for Lewis fans, not for the Mercedes camp, that's for sure. Little I guess press report. So this morning, all team personnel at Mercedes was called into their facility in Brackley for a 10-minute meeting. Sky Sports was outside. People are literally leaving. They said they got there 10 minutes ago. They're now leaving. They basically were just told that Lewis is leaving the team after 2024. And I did see, so I was telling you before we pressed the record button, I saw that Will Buxton tweeted. He tweeted it maybe a day ago, but I saw it last night, saying, I just heard something, and if it's true, it's going to be the biggest news ever. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't care. Like, nothing's happened. Nothing's going to happen. And then I woke up this morning and I thought I was in a different dimension. I woke up to Twitter going off on my phone. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, did the face recognition. First thing I saw is that now that Lewis has joined Ferrari, I was mind blown, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I was mind blown.
Texts.
Yeah. I was blowing you up at 8:00 this morning. That's for sure.
The one thing I will say, it's something was fishy for sure. Like, why did they re-sign Leclerc? And Sainz we were just kind of waiting on what happened with Sainz. Motorsport.com wrote an article 2 days ago saying, what's behind Ferrari's silence on, Sainz's future. I think the word has been around for a while that, you know, we didn't know if Sainz was going to keep that seat, but at the same time, like, there was also word that, you know, Lewis might leave McLaren. It all just felt like rumors to me that, you know, something that would never happen.
Yeah.
And here we are.
There's literally a clip. I saw it today. George Russell sitting on a boat with some guy, and it's like an interview, and he goes, there's rumors about Lewis going to Ferrari. What do you think about that? He said that will never happen.
Yeah.
He said he laughed and said that will never happen, which is so funny. Funny.
And I don't know. I haven't seen anything of anybody asking George on how he feels about it.
No. Yeah. I think he falls under the category. Same with Toto for right now, is like, he's probably in his house, not talking to anybody. You know what I mean? They will, this is what's going to make, like, whenever the media comes out, it's going to be the first shakedown, right? That's going to be the most exciting day in recent history, because then everyone's going to have to talk to the media. Everyone's going to be in the media pen answering questions. And the only questions that the only questions being asked are going to be about Lewis Hamilton. And
Max is finally not going to be the front runner.
I was just going to say, I can't wait for Max to just say that he doesn't give a flying fuck, and he's going to win again. Yeah. He doesn't give two shits. Lewis is on Mercedes. Lewis is on
for McLaren.
That's what I'm saying. He
doesn't care.
Yeah, which is awesome. I tweeted something today, and you know the meme of the kid who's swinging on the swing with the house on fire behind him?
Yeah.
I tweeted that, and I said, like, Max Verstappen fans today, because it was like everything's blowing up, and then like we're just like, all right, whatever.
Do you remember during the COVID season when they were still doing like the team presses or whatever it was? Mm-hmm. They had like those screens, and it was Max and then Daniel, and then Max is just up against it. That's gonna be him sitting there, just kind of, wow, for once they're not asking me any questions, and he's gonna be loving it.
Exactly. I saw that same picture was posted today where he's got like his tongue on the glass, and it's like, this is the man who broke Mercedes.
I mean,
it's true.
That man ruined Toto's career.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Mercedes fans are gonna hate me.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I had a clever line, something like, "It's okay if you don't fuck with me, I fuck with me," something like that. Yeah.
No, Lewis, no.
Yeah, no, Lewis, no. Yeah, I saw. You ever seen the video of George Russell where he's like walking through the paddock, but like very fast and very like pretentiously or whatever? I don't know if you've seen that video, but he's like walking through and he's like this, like going super fast. And they're like, George Russell walking to Lewis Hamilton's house right now. So many funny memes. Maybe I'll like throw them in there in the edit, just like to throw them up there. But okay.
I do kind of feel bad for George though. Like he's
gonna be number one now though.
Yeah, but he's on a team that just has so many questions.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a team that has more questions raised than Mercedes.
You're right. You're right.
They can't seem to get into a good spot with Lewis.
No.
On, developmental terms, strategy terms, and that's just from a Red Bull fan, diving deep on a team that I extremely dislike.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I like George Russell. Yeah. I liked him at Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to feel bad for him, because especially when he's at Williams, he's looking up, he's like, oh my God, I have a guaranteed seat at the best team in Formula One. And then he gets there and they create the W13.
And he probably in a way thinks like he's probably a part of the reason that the team's falling apart. Like he's the driver of the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're just going through struggles left and right. When they finally think they got it figured out, Mr. Sir Lewis Hamilton decides a year early that he's going to announce that he's leaving.
Yeah. So let's talk about this year early thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think I do that a lot.
No, I was just going to say, what are they going to get out of this year other than development of the car?
Right. As far as Lewis goes, probably not a whole lot. But let's talk about this whole year early thing, right? So if you were following this at all today, you know that it was no official statements were released until it was 1 p.m. our time. So either, 6 or 7 p.m. UK EU time. And do you think, I'm asking you, Zach, or whoever, whatever, do you think that if it wasn't leaked like it was, that they would have announced it today?
No.
No.
100% no.
And I think now that I'm thinking about it, they probably would have had to announce it relatively soon because there's questions about
Probably
signing
would have been the midway
contract.
point.
What's that?
It probably would have been the midway point.
Yeah, like summer break. Yeah.
And to be honest, like, yeah, it still would have been huge news, but like, think about it. Like, 16 races in the season, like,
Yeah.
everybody's still in that mindset that Lewis is racing for Mercedes.
Right. Exactly.
And
It was
then
just
like
such
it's
a
kind of
shock.
going to be forgotten about. Like, I guarantee you at the end of this year, like, well, first off, every race Crofty is going to say future Ferrari driver,
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
So it definitely will not be forgotten. But at the same time, like, you're telling me by race 22, like, that's still going to be huge news that Lewis is going to be going to Ferrari? Like, no, we're going to have
Other story.
33 weeks
Yeah.
of knowing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
No, you're right. You're right. And I think it'll be a thing where it's going to be a big thing for the first however many races.
for
Then
sure.
it'll die
for sure.
down, and then as soon as the season's picking back up, or as the season's ending, it'll pick back up as far as
And for
Lewis's
all we know,
departure and
if this is, year 23 all over again, where Lewis or Max just leads the whole pack,
Mhm.
this is going to be just the front running information of every race. Like, ugh.
You're so unhappy with this. It's
Well,
kinda
like
funny.
it's like this, like the just first off, I don't enjoy Lewis Hamilton at all. I
Mhm.
think I respect him enough, but just something about him gives me the ick.
Mhm.
And adding fuel to the fire of announcing that you're joining a team like a year early, like it baffles me. Like
Yeah.
it baffles me. Like think of it like if I'm Toto, I would fuck you. I don't want you to race for me this year.
Yeah, for real.
And think about Carlos. Like, God bless his heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's tough. And okay, we're talking about bad things about Lewis. Let's talk about Lewis being a car merchant, as they say. Car merchant, unformal definition is basically they shop around for the best car. Lewis Hamilton has all the power in the world. He can get any seat he wants. I guarantee you, if he goes to Christian Horner and says, I want Checo's seat, they really think about it. Guarantee it.
100%.
Lewis Hamilton. He could have any seat on the Formula One grid, and he definitely knows that. And in my opinion, two things could have happened. He got in the Mercedes car for next year, and it was the same thing. And he was mad, and he was obviously not happy, and this or that.
Jared, before you say any more,
Mhm.
let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If Lewis was competing for the world title, do you think he'd do this?
No. That's okay. That's the end all be all right there. Is if Mercedes had the RB19 or whatever, they had the best car.
The RB19.
He's not leaving. That's the thing. Right. Put that before anything. This is a career move for Lewis. He's doing this because he thinks he'll have a better chance, probably, right?
And another point I'm going to add, throw money out the window.
Oh, he
Has
doesn't.
nothing to do with money.
No.
Lewis has enough money to his kids can get through college.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like a Major League Baseball player that's getting a $4.2 million 5-year career to leave for the Yankees to get a 10-year $172 million
Right.
earnings. Like it has nothing to do with money.
Right. This is the guy who's done it all, has all the money he could ever ask for, and then some. And here's a counterpoint I'll bring up is everyone remembers the famous quote from Sebastian Vettel. Everyone's a Ferrari fan, even if you say you're not, you are. Everybody wants to drive in the red car at one point in their career. I'm not saying Lewis is packing it in, but do you think that he realized that maybe his 8th title is going to be hard to come by, and he's getting old, and he has one chance to drive for Ferrari, and that's what he wants to do. I don't know. Just wanted to bring it up.
I think Lewis Hamilton knows that Mercedes will not be able to build a car that will compete with Max Verstappen.
Yep.
And I think if you take Max Verstappen out of this proportion at a whole, say it's Checo and Daniel Ricciardo at Red Bull, I guarantee you he would have chosen Red Bull. Or
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with Ferrari's name.
Okay.
I think he knows that, one, the Bulls are never getting rid of Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
And he knows that Max would 110%, 0.00000, that Max would still be the number one driver.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knows that Ferrari, Carlos's contract's ending.
Yep.
Just re-signed Charles.
Yep.
He knows he's better than Charles. He knows he can step in to a car that's decent enough and probably going to be a lot fucking quicker this year.
Yeah.
That he has a chance to fight against the man that he hates most.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. And
that's why I'm so mad.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's making a final run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Like I was telling Jared on the phone call before, you can lead this podcast because I do not care.
Yeah. And listen, I get it. If you like, so the way you feel about Lewis Hamilton is the way I feel about George Russell. George Russell going to Ferrari, don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. Actually wouldn't, like, I'm actually thinking about it. I might not have even texted you this morning. Like I might not have. But yes, I think at the end of the day, it's way more likely that it's a career move and he's trying, because like if he just wants to do it just to do it, why is he doing it? Like he should just sign a 1-year deal. He wants to do it one time and be done. And I don't think Ferrari would be down for that. As far as like if he's listening, like, hey guys, like I really just,
if he pulled a Tom Brady.
Yeah, and I really just want to drive your car for a year and let's just sign a 1-year deal. They'd be like, well, why 1 year? You're not that old. And like, you know what I mean? I don't think Ferrari would go for that in general.
All I got to say is Lewis Hamilton is a very smart man. Yeah. He's schemy as hell, but
yeah. He knows what he's doing. He's been around the game for a very long time. Yeah. So like I said, there's a good point to be brought up about Lewis shopping for cars and not having loyalty and this and that. I would hope that you're probably not going to agree with this. I would hope that Mercedes treats him well this year as far as things go. Like, I
hope they don't disrespect Charles Leclerc.
What do you mean?
I just don't believe in.
Oh, Ferrari, you mean?
Or yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily the right thing to do to have Lewis step in and be the all be all.
Yeah. But if Lewis Hamilton approaches you and says, I want to drive your team, drive for your team, I want to drive your car, and I want to win a world title, what do you say?
Isn't that what every driver says, though?
But it's Lewis Hamilton. He's at 7. He knows how to do it. He knows how to get it done.
But
I'm just throwing out counterpoints. That's
the years after Lewis is gone, Charles is the bread and butter of that team.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this really quick too. It's one of the last things I've written down is how are Lewis and Charles going to work as teammates? Charles is the number 1 driver at Ferrari. And is Lewis going to step into
next year?
Yeah.
I'll be so mad. Because as much as people hate that saying that there's no 1 and 2 drivers in F1, eat a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's all competitive sports.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a starter and then there's a backup. Yeah. So, and at the end of the day, as far as a title race goes, they're going to have to focus on one driver or they're going to lose everything. They're not going to get P1 of the constructors. They're not going to get P1 of the drivers or anything. At the end of the day,
how do you think Charles feels?
Threatened for sure. For sure. Do I think it will make him better? Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And that's the part I do respect of Lewis, excuse me.
Yeah.
He's been there, he's done that. I hope he takes on Fernando's role. of what he did this year with Lance.
That's what I was gonna say. I think he will, to be honest. I think he will, but I could be proven wrong for sure.
I mean, if we're talking F1, Lewis is either loved or he's hated. There's no in between.
No.
And if he's gonna be that slap in the face to Charles, like, no, you're the 2 driver, I'm the number 1 driver, he will become the most hated man in Formula 1.
Yeah.
In Zach Crane's world, he already is, but he'll add fuel to that fire.
No, I definitely get it. I definitely get it.
Because I respect Charles. I think Charles is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Carlos Sainz is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a bold move. Bold move, Cotton.
It's a big deal. That's for sure. It's the I saw a lot of people say that it's the biggest driver transfer in the history of Formula 1. Obviously, we weren't watching in the 80s, but I saw people who were say that. So it's
Sainz
a big deal. And
obviously dropped his press release today.
Yep.
It was the biggest PR statement you could ever read.
Yep. Very media trained.
Stating that pretty much he'll give it his best this year. And in due time, we'll know where he's going to go. Who knows where he's going to go if he can get a seat. Jared has some thoughts on this. And just to kind of add to that, in my opinion, like, Carlos is going to have to do some work this year.
It's a big season for our Spaniard friend. He has to impress. If he wants to keep a top seat, he has to impress.
Because, I mean, we were talking about this before. Like, Carlos is in a spot where a lot of contracts are being filled. And at the end of the day, if Haas is knocking at Carlos Sainz's front door in beautiful Spain, he's going to have to take the contract.
Right. That's the thing. I think he will get a contract, but if we're talking about him keeping a top seat, he's not going to Red Bull. Oh. Maybe. He's been there before. He knows,
Actually, I guarantee you this probably makes Daniel a little worried.
And Checo.
I think Checo knows he's gone.
Yeah. But now they have a more viable option. Now they have a Daniel is like in and out, like he definitely could, but whatever. Carlos Sainz won a race this year.
For sure.
Not in a Red Bull. Like Carlos Sainz, I take over Daniel Ricciardo in current form.
100%.
Sure. Yeah.
100,000%.
And I don't think that's
absolutely love Daniel.
Yeah.
Carlos's days better.
Yeah.
Daniel lived his days at Red Bull. That was his point.
Yeah. And I think that's a pretty cold take. I think most people would agree with that current form. But like you said, could he go to Red Bull? Maybe.
Dude, I could see it.
That's something I didn't hear anybody talk about either.
I haven't heard that either, but my God. Dude, Christian loved Carlos. They had a great relationship. Just that Checo's name's a bit bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Another team, obviously, we have Mercedes as an open seat. Viable option, straight swap. No.
That'd be crazy.
Carlos
Sainz raced for Mercedes. That would be bigger information and news to me than Lewis going to drive.
That's funny. Yeah. So, and obviously, let's look at other teams. So, Audi, he's been rumored for Audi for a while now. So, that's 2026.
Sonoda?
I'd love it.
I would love it.
I'd love it. I think it'd be a good pairing. I think it'd be a great pairing, actually. Yeah, he's been rumored for a while. That's 2026, though. There's a year to fill. He's got to be somewhere. Does he take a seat at Sauber, Steak, Kick, Formula One team, whatever? Maybe.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, he has options. I think Carlos's name's big enough that, he could kind of pull a Lewis at, middle of the pack, lower end team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Ocon's seat's safe yet. I don't think Albon's seat's safe yet. I don't think Sargent's safe yet.
Right.
And I don't see him going to Williams. I would see him just going straight to Mercedes.
I think, he's going to they're going to shoot for a top team. I don't think they're like packing it. They're like, all right, let's.
I don't think his father will let him fail like that.
his father's still racing, and like what is it, like the Dakar or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so I think there's options for him, which is nice to know. You know,
Yeah, sure.
he's not out of a seat. He's young. He's a very good driver, obviously well accredited, probably highly thought of by a lot of different people around the paddock. So he'll have options. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens with him this year. Like you said, this year for Carlos Sainz is a huge year on track as far as what he can do, how he can perform. A lot of pressure. Obviously, he knows already before the first shakedown that he doesn't have a seat for the year after, and it's really, really interesting.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like this doesn't happen much.
As
Where
far
a
as what?
front-running car's
Oh yeah,
driver already knows that he's gone. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
It's going to be a tough season mentally for sure.
so let me ask you this: where does this put Mercedes during this year?
Um, not in a great spot. That's for sure.
I wonder
Not
if
in a
the
great spot.
relationship will change between Toto and Lewis.
I think whether they think it does or not between them, it definitely does. Lewis was, asking for shares in Mercedes Formula One team, and he was about to become part owner and this and that. And now he said, "Hey, I'm going to your biggest competitor,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try to win a world title, and I'll see you on the grid next year." You know, I think whether they think so or not, it definitely does change the scenario a little bit as far as that goes. And yeah, it'll be really interesting. It depends on the kind of car they bring out too. If they bring out another shit box, then yeah, it's just going to be more of the same, more of the animosity and him screaming over the radio that his tires are gone and this and that. And if they have a decent car, you know what I would love to see, and you would probably love to see it too. Well, not really. You wouldn't love to see it, but it would be kind of a sweet silver lining for you. Is if Mercedes came out and had the best car on the grid, and Lewis Hamilton's already leaving.
I would, yeah. I hope they're competitive in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying even this year though. What if they come out this year and they're fighting with Red Bull? Like legitimately fighting with Red Bull. And Lewis is already gone. He's on his way out.
Yeah, but doesn't he technically isn't he still signed through like 2026?
So he used an opt-out in his contract.
Mm.
So
Fucker.
that goes that goes into like legal things though, as far as like if you use the opt-out, I'm sure when you opt out of your contract, you have opted out. And there's no like, hey, I didn't mean it. You know what I mean? Or like, hey, like actually I don't really want to do that. I don't know. But it'd be it's
All
gonna
I
be
gotta
really,
say
really
is this saves Mercedes a shit ton of money.
yes. Yes. And they have a whole year to publicly shop for a new driver. And they have, yes, they haven't been good in recent years, but they still have one of the most coveted seats in Formula One. And
Yeah.
now they'll probably have they're gonna be able to get relatively whoever they want that doesn't already have a seat.
Yeah. I mean it's Mercedes.
Right. Right.
What if Max was like, yo, fuck Red Bull, I'm going to Mercedes?
I couldn't see him doing that, but I could.
What if Max was like, you know what?
Not Mercedes.
You, Lewis, I'm going to take the spot that you had and show you that you're just dog shit and wash.
That would be the best scenario. That'd be the best scenario. Max goes to Mercedes, develops the car for 2025, 2026, whatever, and wins another world title at Mercedes. And then everybody can stop saying that he's not one of the greatest of all time because he won a championship with two different cars.
Well, that's the thing. He's going to have to eventually leave Red Bull and go to another team
if he cares about being a GOAT, yes.
And I don't think he does.
I don't think he cares.
The only thing I think he cares about is winning. And if you're not winning, he's done with the sport.
He cares about the right pedal.
He's made that publicly known. Like
Yeah.
he's said in multiple press releases that like, hey, if all I care about is winning, and I have other things that I want to do in life. And if we're not winning, I don't want to be a middle of the pack car.
Yeah. He's also said that he doesn't care about winning multiple world titles. Not saying he doesn't care about winning a world title in any given year, but the number 7 or the number 8 doesn't do anything for him. He said, I've won, I've done it. I've done the best thing I could do. So like, why? Like, doesn't make much sense to him anyway.
I mean, like, look, like he was more worried about racing in Le Mans like 3/4 of the way through the season with Fernando Alonso than he was like about the race.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was like begging Helmut Marko to let him do it. They were like, no, you race in Formula One and you happen to be the best guy, so you're not doing that. Which I wish they let him do, but whatever. Let's talk about really quick, just candidates for the Mercedes seat for 2025 then. Albon, I think, should be in the seat. I don't care. He is making that Williams look way better than it is. That's a whole other argument, whether it's Logan Sargent making it look bad or Alex Albon making it look good. Alex Albon is consistently good in that car. He's in the Mercedes family.
Hate on Logan Sargent, bro.
Yeah.
He's in one of the worst cars as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, no shit. He's going to suck.
Right. And that's the thing, too, is if they had a banger car, Albon would be in Q3 every time.
Every time.
And he would be finishing the points all the time. He's not, though. But you can see glimpses of when it's like Albon is on provisional pole in Q2 right now. And it's like, what is going on? It's him. It's the driver. It's not the car. The car is letting him down.
When you're making press releases saying that you're trying to be the best, worst team,
what?
It blows my mind.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. No, I couldn't agree more. And I don't know. As far as other people go, we talked about Sainz.
That'd be kind of like worst case scenario.
Sainz going to Mercedes?
Oh, no. I meant like if Sainz ended up in like one of the worst teams.
Oh, I don't think he's going to. But yeah,
I mean, like a straight swap would like
make things easy. You know?
Yeah, it definitely, gives Mercedes a driver that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
He knows how to develop a car.
Yep. Someone who, it's not a risk. It's not a risk.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then, we can talk
about you know what I could see? You might think I'm crazy. I could see either what's his name? Fittipaldi.
Yes. Sorry. You cut out when you said it and it sounded like I was
yeah. I could see either Fittipaldi or Behrman taking that Williams seat and then them moving Albon up. To me, that one, that makes sense. Two, it gives you longevity.
Yeah.
And three, it allows you to kind of form Behrman and, let's say, Logan Sargent. That gives you 3 to 4 years to develop a driver because I don't know if this is just me, but I don't see Russell staying at Mercedes his entire career.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lewis didn't.
We all thought Lewis would, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
To me, I think this kind of gives, we were saying, how we were saying in kind of like our first 2 episodes that with the rules and regulations of FIA, this is after the 2021 Grand Prix, it was a new start. Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, it was a new start for the FIA.
Yeah.
This is the same thing for Mercedes. This is day one of figuring out who we are in 7 years.
Yeah. The Lewis Hamilton era is now over as far as Mercedes goes.
Dead. It's in the grave.
And they are going to have to find whether it's George Russell or whoever.
Think about it. What is Lewis doing racing at Mercedes this year? If I'm him, I'm taking the year off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And think about it. What if Charles wrecks Lewis 5 times this year?
Right.
That'd be crazy.
Charles just taps him in the back a couple times,
But then again, I think Charles is too much of a pussy.
Yeah. Let's talk, since we're talking about Charles, let's talk about, I think this is maybe one of the last points that I have. Anyway, I got my little notes right here. As far as how does Lewis and Leclerc work together? Well, so I think maybe I mentioned this when we were recording, maybe just to you. Leclerc, Ferrari, the current form of Ferrari is built around Charles Leclerc. Do you really, who's going to be the number one driver? Like you were saying, everyone has a number one driver. If you go, does Lewis take a seat where he's not the number one guy?
So here's kind of going back to what we were saying before. Like, there was arguments that 2 years ago that's, Sainz, like, who was going to be the number one driver? Was it Sainz or was it Charles? And if that's even a question, and one of the best race car drivers in all of motorsport is coming to the team.
Yeah.
See, that's how you know I'm a true F1. As much as I hate Lewis Hamilton, I still respect him, that he's one of the best to ever do it.
Exactly.
It's going to be hard. It's going to put Fred Vasseur in a spot that's like more of a therapist for Charles, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
There's going to be like situations that happen. Lewis is going to do things that Charles can't do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. And going back to Fred being, if he'll show that if he's the guy, if he can manage the relationships between.
Or Vasseur. Sorry. I think I said Vasseur.
I don't need, dude, it's hard. All these names, Vasseur. I don't even know what nationality he is or like what country he's from, but it sounds like French, but I don't think he's French. Besides the point, you can look it up. I lost my train of thought. Oh, so yeah, we're gonna see if he's the guy, if he can manage the two personalities, Lewis and Charles, as far as things go.
Watch them be really good, which is very highly that it could happen, and it's also very highly that it couldn't happen.
Right. It could be.
That's what we were saying before. I couldn't think of what we were saying before. This could either go really good or really bad very quick.
I don't think things will stay the same at Ferrari, put it that way.
No.
And as far as Fred Vasseur goes, or whatever, he dude, I'm like losing my mind. I was gonna say, as far as that goes, he needed to change things at Ferrari, right? For the better or for the worse, changes needed to happen, and this is what needed to happen for Ferrari. Ferrari should sign him for the foreseeable future because he's making things happen.
Don't get me wrong. Like, if we're strictly talking business, Ferrari's the only one really gaining anything out of this. Like,
of course, yeah.
Think about like the strategists, and like the engineers that are building the car. They know that it's not Carlos Sainz that's about to drive this car.
Yeah.
It's fucking Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not only does that empower, obviously what Lewis is trying to accomplish, but everybody on the team's morale is just building. Like, perfect example. I am an absolutely, Jared knows this, I am an absolutely diehard Syracuse basketball and football fan.
Syracuse, it's college for any of you Europeans.
College. Yeah. And we have a new coach. Syracuse hasn't been good in years. That's a lie. They've been decent.
Yeah.
We got a new football coach. He is bringing in tons of recruits. We have a transfer quarterback from another college that's like top 10 in the country. I am itching to watch this sport, football, next season because I'm super intrigued.
Yeah.
These strategists, engineers, they're in that same mindset I'm in right now. We have a whole year to get through. And then after that year, the dead period is going to feel like it's months and months and months away before Bahrain testing.
Yeah.
And once they get to Bahrain testing and it's nothing but success, that waiting period is just, there's no better feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to it. It's either going to be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever as far as things go. And that's what Ferrari needs, though. They need something to breathe some life into this organization that is always being slandered for strategy. Yeah, exactly. funny thing I was thinking about today. This is off topic, but it'll come back around. The guy who does our banking for our company, he's from the UK, but he's a Ferrari fan, and he just stopped in our office the other day. He looks at me, and goes, "Forza Ferrari!" And I was like, I can't wait to see him again because I'm gonna be like, dude, like, yeah. What's his name? Pasquale. Shout out Pasquale if you're listening. He might be. He knows about the podcast because like he does like the 5 City stuff for us too. So
Cool.
shout out Pasquale if you're listening, man. Big day for you. What were we saying though? I don't know.
The one thing I want to add is Mercedes is probably the timing that it happened. The only way I think they would have benefited from this is if it happened a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and they could have snagged Lando.
Right.
Because I think Lando would have done it.
You think Lando would have went?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it'd be a tough decision, but I think he probably would have. Yeah.
I think he'd get a lot of money out of it.
And he's on their customer team right now.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, he drives a Mercedes engine, you know.
So, I mean, that would have been huge. I probably would have gained a lot more respect for Mercedes if Lando went there because I love McLaren just solely based off Oscar and Lando.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Zach Brown too. I think he's a great
Yeah.
CEO. So,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, wild
day. I saw a lot of people saying this will go down in history as like everyone's going to remember what they were doing on February 1st when Lewis announced that he was going to Ferrari. Like, and it's cool to be a part of, like, to be honest, like I know like this wasn't the greatest situation for you, like specifically, but like you said, you have good perspective on the sport minus your opinions like everybody has. It's cool to be a part of. It's cool to be in the sport, so into it like we are, and something like this happens where it's gonna be a thing in 10 years when people are talking about, you remember when Lewis went to Ferrari? What were you doing? I was laying in my bed texting everybody I know in all caps.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you were saying, like it's kind of it's a big, it's a big time to be. It's a good time to be a Formula One fan. You know what I mean? Like,
especially coming off a season that we needed something like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't even really talk about like the competitive aspect of what we think. Will they be competitive with Lewis Hamilton on the team than with Carlos Sainz on the team?
Right. I think whether you want to say it or not, it's definitely a driver upgrade.
It's a driver upgrade, but at the same time, it's
someone,
the same car.
Right. And it's someone who is on the back end of their career versus someone who is in the probably the golden era of their career. Carlos Sainz is.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that's a lot to think about too.
Oh, we didn't even mention this. This is actually the second time that Vasseur and Hamilton have worked with each other.
Yeah. Tell them about this.
So they actually worked with each other in GP2 at ART Racing before, obviously, Lewis was in Formula One. Mm-hmm. There's got to be some connection there.
Yeah. Some way, somehow.
Mm-hmm. Because if there's two peas in a pod and it worked at ART Racing, then clearly Lewis thinks highly of Fred, and Fred, you'd be dumb not to think that, but like Fred thinks highly of Lewis.
Exactly.
So the one thing that it's really hurting Ferrari is they were kind of in a good spot with their salary cap. And kind of kissed that goodbye.
Yeah. So, they're going to pay out the WAS, whatever the number is.
$7 billion is what they're doing salary cap. The market cap's up to $7 billion for Ferrari.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they better win some races.
Yep. Did you see Ferrari stock on the New York Stock Exchange jumped 10% today?
Dude, it went up. Yeah. No surprise there, but.
Dude, 10% is crazy, though. Crazy. We should have had stock in the Scuderia. Oh my.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they'll win a race in 2025?
Yes. Okay. And I'm not
who I hope
I'm
wins?
not saying Lewis Hamilton will win them a race.
I hope Charles.
I'm saying, okay. You think Charles will? Okay. I think they both will. I think they both will. And I think there's no way that Lewis goes to Ferrari without him knowing that they're going to have a good car. Like Alonso going to Aston Martin.
So that's the thing. Like, I'm realistic. Like, I'm actually extremely realistic.
Mhm.
If you're a Red Bull fan and you think that the past season is going to be a regular occurrence, you're out of your mind.
Never happened before.
Like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
like,
It's never going to happen again.
no.
Teams are going to catch up, especially by 2025 too. Last year of the new last year of this generation, Ferrari's going to be up there. I think
That's the thing, bro. Like, for all we know, like, Red Bull, God, knock on wood, McLaren could get in, or I mean, Red Bull could end up in, Mercedes' position.
Right.
Because that's all it takes is the
What
new
happens if
regulations to come out.
Right. And then okay, they don't build a car the first year. Max goes and races GP2s or whatever it is, not GP2s, GT3s. You're just saying Lewis was with Vasseur at GP2. So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's this event shakes up the Formula One world so much.
Because it affects everybody.
It affects everybody.
Affect Mercedes and Ferrari.
No, it affects everybody. It affects the outlook on the next 2 to 4 years.
Gives us something to look forward to.
Exactly. Especially coming off a season that people needed some excitement as far as not excitement. I mean, whatever, we enjoyed it, but I'm just saying a season like that where Red Bull wins 22 out of 20 races or 20 out of 22 races, 21 out of 22 races.
I want to shout out again my boys at McLaren, man. Like, I just want nothing but the best for that team, bro.
I think they're going to be number 2 this year.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I know this is a Mercedes and Ferrari episode, but dude, like, with Lewis at Mercedes, bro, that's going to up McLaren's, chances of being a middle of the pack team again. And that can't happen. It can't happen.
I don't think they will, to be honest. I think they have something figured out in their car.
I hope so, man.
And they have a good driver pairing.
Their straight line speed's incredible.
Yep.
They just got to get the low corner speeds figured out. They can't figure it out.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, man. Like I said, this shakes up everything. Not just Mercedes, not just Ferrari, but it shakes up everything down the whole order. Because now you got to look at Sainz and where Sainz is going to go. And now you're looking at 2025, 2026.
God bless his heart, man, for sure.
What's that?
I said, God bless his heart, man, for sure.
Yeah. And like you said, whatever. Hopefully, I don't even know. Hopefully it's good for, and at the end of the day, we want competition, right? So hopefully this works out for Ferrari. Hopefully it works out for Mercedes, and hopefully Red Bull is still good. Hopefully we got a three-way title. Hopefully it's a three-way battle for the title.
I hope Red Bull uses this as fuel.
I think they will. Speaking of Red Bull too, I want to say something about Christian Horner. Maybe middle of the season, maybe later part of the season, he said that Lewis Hamilton approached Red Bull, and about whatever, getting a contract or something, or he said something about Lewis Hamilton shopping for a contract, and everyone took a shit on his face about it. And I think everybody owes him an apology now.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was true?
Yeah, now I do.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Did you think that was true?
No, not at the time.
Strange.
Strange what?
Let me ask you a question. Another question.
Okay.
Why would he say that?
Wait, I'm sorry. At the time when he said it, I didn't think it was true. But now I do think it's true. And why do I think he said that? Because he's kind of he likes to stir the pot a little bit.
But that statement's too big to stir the pot.
How do you mean?
Saying that Lewis Hamilton was interested in, I wasn't it like they were in conversations?
Yeah.
Why would he say that? Why would he make up a lie at that?
I think it was true. like at that time, Lewis was approaching other teams, and Horner knew about it.
No, I know. But
Mhm.
what I'm saying is like I don't that's too big of a statement to drop to the media for that to be false, in my opinion.
Oh no, yeah, no, 100%. And like I said, it's definitely true now because Lewis decided this probably a long time ago that he's like, I better shop around because I'm not getting any younger and all this. And like you said,
Because
that's too big of a thing to lie about.
like you were saying, man, like Christian got a lot of hate for that. Like a lot. Like Lewis said it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Again, I can't wrap my head around him dropping that statement and it not being true.
Right.
I can't. Like, I can't think even. Let's say it was a lie.
Mm.
What would he have benefited from that?
Nothing.
Nothing but questions from the media that he doesn't want to fucking do.
Right.
And a bunch of people that hate him.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, he already gets. But,
Yeah.
I mean, like, when you're kind of like the center spotlight, and in all honesty, he's the leader. He's the lead engineer, or lead principal of the number one team in Formula One.
Mhm.
Like, that would be like George Steinbrenner saying that the CEO of the Boston Red Sox are trying to sell the team and come and be a stakeholder in the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it didn't quite make sense for it not to be true.
Right. Exactly. And,
Yo, fuck Lewis. I don't care what people say.
and we'll end it on that, brother. Okay. But I think maybe just to wrap it up a little bit, this is a huge thing that happened. It's going to affect every part of Formula One. And I like it. I don't know. I know.
I mean, as much as I hate on it, I think just think about Formula One as a company is absolutely loving every part of it.
Oh yeah.
And two, I didn't in a million years think I would ever say this, but you're right. When you made that statement earlier, I hope Mercedes is successful this year. I hope they're very quick. I hope they win races, and I hope they're competing.
Yeah. Prove Lewis wrong. Yeah. And I think that'll light a fire. You were saying, I hope Red Bull use this as fuel. Mercedes will use this as fuel.
Oh, they have to. Toto is not that kind of
You're
person.
leaving? You're leaving? Okay.
Toto is not that kind of person to just lay on the ground and cry.
Mm-mm. No. They're going to...
Maybe, but...
in the long term.
Let's be honest here. Like, from a business standpoint, Ferrari is 100% winning this. And in a couple years, I think Mercedes is actually going to benefit more.
Once Lewis is out of the picture.
Once Lewis is out of the picture completely.
Yeah. I agree.
Because think about it. What if Lewis has a great career at Ferrari?
Right.
After that, they got to restart again.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's where Ferrari might be set up a little nicely. Leclerc is there for a while, for sure, right? Lewis is there for not a while, but a little while. And then by that time, they might have Oliver Behrman coming in, sneaking in, saying, "Hey,
I hope so.
I'm a little bit older now." That would be
the only time I would be happy for Lewis. Great career.
Yeah.
Go to Brazil, sit on the beach, drink your wine.
Yep.
Do your little fashionista designing, whatever you want to do, and give me Oliver Behrman.
Yeah. Cool, man. I think
Fucker. Dude, it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's just, and to be honest, like, I would feel the same way if it was Max. Like, if Max left to go to another team, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I'm a college baseball coach, so I hate the transfer portal. So
Yeah.
it's
It's tough to see people leave when they've been there so
I'm a
long.
big loyalty guy. That's the way I put it.
Yeah. I saw a tweet today from a Max Verstappen fan account. I will put that out there, but it was a picture of Max, a picture of Lando, a picture of Leclerc, and then a picture of Lewis, and it said loyalty ... You can't buy it. So
Well,
yeah.
I mean, like, never. I'm actually not going to say it.
Okay. Okay. You can say it if you want.
No, it's in simpler terms. Like it's just the way that I see it is kind of Lewis had his success. He knows that, you know. And in all honesty, it's like Seb. Like Seb wanted to try something else at the end of his career.
Yeah.
I guess there's nothing wrong with it.
Well,
But at the same time, like, I mean, I understand it. Like, if I'm putting myself in Lewis Hamilton's shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. Yeah, no, not probably. I would.
mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you won 7 world championships, and
Yeah.
then the past 3 years you've been dog shit.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
And
for
I say
someone like
dog
Lewis.
shit. They still finished second in the world driver or constructors championship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly. And Lewis finished P3 in the drivers.
as much as I hate Lewis, man, he's a winner.
Yeah.
He wants to
He knows
win.
how to get it done, and he wants to. And I don't think that passion is gone.
You can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
David Ortiz, the
Yep.
Red Sox.
Yep.
He's a winner.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. All right, brother. Fucking.
as much as I didn't want to do this podcast, it was good.
Well, therapy session.
It made me rethink. You brought up some good points that made me like kind of see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So
I mean, whatever. It's jarring. It's a jarring thing that happened. And there's good things and bad things about it. There's the argument that Lewis is doing everything that he can to win his 8th world title, and he still has the competitive drive, and he is a winner, and he knows how to get it done, and he will do his absolute best to get it done. And then there's the other argument that he has no loyalty to Mercedes, and they gave him 8 years of dominance, and as soon as they can't produce a car, he's not giving them more than 2 years, and he's going to their main competitor. Two sides of the argument. I guess we could let everybody decide what side they fall on.
and that's the thing. If you're looking at it from a bigger picture, like it's a world champion trying to win another one.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly. But yeah, cool, man.
and I'm not gonna let it like sorry, I know I keep adding to it, but
dude, no,
I
add.
genuinely like wouldn't. I think the best days of Formula One was 2021, early 2022.
Yeah. I think 2021 is probably the best season we're gonna see for a while.
Like, dude, like just watching 2 of the best drivers ever
Go at it.
be like that, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible.
Exactly.
And that's what made me, I think, love the sport so much.
100%. 100%, brother. 100%. Had it. Cool. I don't have anything else. I think that was good. I think we covered. It's such a, we couldn't just leave it at like a 20-minute thing. There's just too much to get into. We unraveled, I think, every possible scenario that this could affect, in the best way, and closing thoughts. I mean, you kind of shared yours about, maybe you feel a little bit differently now. You have every right to just like not be having this at all. Yeah, I was so shocked and jarred this morning, but definitely crossed my mind, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
For me, just like kind of being like a just, because I'm gonna say this right now, like, yes, I'm a Max Verstappen fan, but I'm a Red Bull fan. Like,
Yeah.
I support Red Bull,
Right.
and it just so happens to be that the number 1 driver's on our team.
Exactly.
And we're talking about the number 1 competitor.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't, like, get Max Verstappen out of this. I am 100% just as much of a Sergio Perez fan as I am Max Verstappen.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and I both support the team.
Exactly. Like, as of Carlos Sainz, as of Pierre Gasly, as Alex Albon. Like, I love those drivers. They were Red Bull guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're talking about the number one competitor. It'd be like the Yankees versus the Red Sox,
Right.
and trying to find common ground in the middle. It's tough. It's
100%.
really tough.
100%, brother. 100. I've hit my face with this mic about 10 times. 100%. I'm going to clip that. I'm going to find that exactly at an hour. I'll find that and I'll clip that. But no, I couldn't agree more. You know, it's like you said, we're Red Bull fans. It's hard to really process everything, and it happened 12 hours ago. So, you know, it's still fresh in everybody's mind. I think there's still elements to the story that will be uncovered as far as things go throughout the season and whatnot. And we'll obviously be here to cover all that.
And then again, you're 100% right. There's going to be a lot more to this than just the announcement.
Yeah, definitely. As far as contract details go and behind the scenes discussions and whatnot and all that good stuff.
The only thing is, I kind of wish that this happened, like you were saying, like during summer break, because my goodness, would that Next Driver Survived series be a hell of a banger.
I saw a tweet today about how like Netflix producers like seeing this happen when they weren't recording. It was some meme where the guy was like, no, or whatever. But yeah. So they'll find a way.
Wrong. That's probably going to be like the #1 episode to the next season.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
But yeah, again, let us know what you guys think. Just leave a comment. You know, if it has nothing to do with this episode, maybe things you want us to talk about.
100%. We'd love to hear from everybody, you know.
Yeah. But we got tons of pods to come in the future. So.
100%. We still have a whole list of different topics that we got to cover before the season starts. So yeah, we'll be ripping them out for sure. Thank you for everybody watching. Like Zach said, let us know. Talk to us. I think that's how we're going to improve is, you know, getting some feedback and letting other people tell us what they want to hear about and things like that. So that's really great. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do, do it.
Want to do.
DM us. Tell us we're shit. Whatever. It means more than nothing. So, yeah.
I can take that.
Oh yeah, me too, dog. Me too. We were college athletes. We were all told we were shit at one point. Yeah, but cool, man. Anything else? Any final thoughts? Cool, brother.
You know what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it.
I think everybody. Yeah, I was going to say. I think everybody can guess what you're about to say.
But
no, very valid points. Very valid points. And like I said, I think we covered every scenario this could possibly affect, which is every scenario. By the way, don't get it twisted. This affects everything, not just Mercedes, not just Ferrari, not just Toto Wolff's home life.
Beautiful face.
Yeah. But cool. Well, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. See you later.
Peace.
The frig out.